and welcome to Ripples. So I had a very interesting email today. You can hear me, right? Yeah, thank you. I had a very interesting email today, and I will read that to you if you don't mind. Okay. It's from Pamela, who happens to, oh my goodness, who happens to be here. Okay, just getting myself acquainted here. So it's from Pamela. Thank you, Pamela. Thanks for writing. It says, "Hi Ann, I'm listening to the news reports about our country as a whole and how people are feeling about themselves and the country. I feel like there's a strong sense of wanting to conserve an old idea of itself, because realizing that the idea was flawed is too overwhelming. A Pandora's box of responsibility and guilt, easier to deny, easier to reject complexity, easier to feel that humans are either good or bad, saviors or the wicked. This is the risk of our mythic storytelling about ourselves. We cannot let ourselves see the complexity. Specifically, there's a feeling of denial, of not wanting to admit that America has failings based on racism that have systematically hurt people of color and black people especially. This position seems to be leading many Americans to no longer feel sympathy and support for the protests. What are we conserving? What are we protecting? Why so much fear? Where is our confidence to meet this moment and make it better? Where is our creativity and where is our courage? Is this phlegm obscuring the sensory orifices, or phlegm obscuring the heart? Where is the forgiveness that we can offer ourselves so that we can move forward in reality instead of a trumped up fantasy?" It's from Pamela. Thanks so much, Pamela. Well, now, so there's an important line here. So she says, "I feel like there's a strong sense of wanting to conserve an old idea of itself." Yes, but what if we went back to the real old idea of itself? What if we went back to the actual Constitution in which, or what if we forget the Constitution and go back to the Declaration of Independence, where all beings are created equal and the right to liberty and freedom and happiness? What if we went back to that? I love the Declaration of Independence, and so what if we focus on that notion, the foundation of the very country, and in its truest sense, in its truest and most modern sense. And so if we're going back to the constitution of ourselves and using it as a mirror, as a parallel for the constitution of the country, or the Declaration of Independence of the country, we go to spleen 4, spleen 4, grandparent, grandchild, where so one of the great gifts of spleen 4 and needling into spleen 4, if you have a patient with a DNA issue, with a constitutional issue that's creating a cancer or a problem in the replication of DNA. And I have to say, I'll give you an example of this, a really dramatic example. Once I had a patient who was 16 weeks pregnant, and she came through the door and she was extremely upset, and she said, and I said, "Oh, what on earth is wrong?" And she had struggled for years to become pregnant, and she said, we ran the tests and the baby has spina bifida, And she said, I know I should be grateful. I know this will be a wonderful baby, but it's just devastating to hear that. So I said to her, well, you know, and that's one of the jokes in my office is that I say the words, well, that can be treated. That's one of the jokes. And she looked at me and she said, don't tell me that can be treated. I said, well, actually, it can be treated. And so we had a kind of a very sad chuckle together. And then all I did was needle into spleen 4 and kidney 21. That's not what we're going to do today, close. And then she came back 2 weeks later and she said, they think that the test, they can't work out what went wrong with the test, but the tests weren't accurate because there's no trace of the spina bifida now. And so the spleen, the activation of Chiang Mai, I don't want to use the word corrected because it's whatever way the DNA is sitting is perfect, but it changed the DNA. So if we're going to change the DNA of the country to undo the cancer, to undo the spina bifida of the country, not making a negative judgment about spina bifida, but you're with me, right? Where there's an alteration in the DNA of the country, then spleen 4 is the point. And so what we're thinking back is to the pristine moment of conception, which is really the Declaration of Independence. And I know there are several continents here, but there will be parallels universally and globally. And the other point I want to pair with spleen 4 is kidney 25, the spirit storehouse, which is the kidney shoe point. So it's 2 inches below your collarbone, right in in that indentation in the sternum. And this is a point on Chiang Mai, so we're choosing a point from the channel, but it's a point that the spirit storehouse, it's a point that keeps everything sane. And we only have sanity if we're deeply concerned about every fellow human being, if we care and love every single human being on the planet. That would be the definition of sanity, and that would be what the Declaration of Independence is all about. So I hope that strikes the note, Pamela. And so spleen 4, where are you? There you are. Spleen 4 and kidney 25, the kidney shoe point of the heart, spirit storehouse, and spleen 4 is on the side of the foot. It's on the inside of the foot. Grandfather, grandparent, grandchild. All right, thanks so much for being here. Let's get to work.